Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Crow. I wanted to do this video today, this week's video, on a little topic that I've been thinking about lately. And also maybe let you in on a little something. So first off, I was thinking a lot about the 13th Zodiac sign, or the 13th constellation of the Zodiac, to be more accurate. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm not going to get into the whole concept of why is there a 13th sign, or why isn't there a 13th sign. But basically, there's this another constellation that is part of the Zodiac, meaning that the sun rises against the backdrop of that sign over the course of the solar year. And it's generally, in mainstream standard astrology, it's essentially combined with Scorpio and just called Scorpio. And then all the other ones are created fudged a bit so that they're 12 equal signs. But in the 13 sign system, sidereal astrology is generally what it's referred to as. In that system, you have the 13th sign, or the 13th zodiac, at the very least. Although, it's becoming a sign. I'm rambling here. But to get to the point, what is the symbol for that? And what is the meaning behind it? Was there any kind of mythology that comes up around this? Well, there is, and if we go to the Greco-Roman mythology, because this is where we generally get the names for these things, and what we name the planets is based off of the Roman gods. The signs of the Zodiac, some of them are named after Greek gods, such as Ares, and we have these names that are all tend to be based off of the Greco-Roman version of these things. Although really they go back to ancient Babylon. Who knows if there's some precursor civilization that's lost to history that they learned it from. It's not certain, but that is something that I think that might be possible. But if we look at the mythology surrounding the constellation of Ophiuchus, from the Greco-Roman perspective, they attribute it to this character called, now I gotta try and remember if I pronounce this correctly, Asclepius, I believe it is. Asclepius. So this is a character who he's the son of Apollo and a mortal princess, and he was tutored by the same tutor as Hercules, which is the centaur Chiron. The centaur Chiron taught him to essentially be a physician or a healer. And now the story goes that he discovered healing properties and medicines from a snake. So that's a very interesting kind of Luciferian connection there, learning forbidden knowledge from a serpent, right? So in order to prevent all of the mortals becoming immortal through this powerful medicine that Asclepius was discovering, Zeus or Jupiter zapped him with a lightning bolt and killed him, but then brought him up into the heavens, and as a way of honoring the good that he did for humanity, and put him up in the sky as the constellation Ophiuchus. And now Ophiuchus, the name itself means serpent bearer. And the general modern symbol for that constellation, like we have a symbol for all the different zodiac signs, the symbol that we use in the modern sense for Ophiuchus is a U, like a capital U with like a sideways S through it. And I don't know for sure, but I assume that it essentially represents like two arms coming up holding a serpent or a snake, and then it's just been kind of stylized. Now the thing is, that's not how Asclepius held the serpent. The serpent wrapped itself around a stick or a staff, and he held the staff, and that's how he bore the serpent, or so it's not like he's holding it up in his two hands. He's holding the staff with the serpent wrapped around it, and that is the original symbol of medicine, not the two serpent one, which is the caduceus, which is a different symbol altogether, actually. But it's interesting, how did that, kind of happen? It was, I guess, considered people didn't understand it, or who knows why the caduceus became. I'm sure somebody has studied the how this all developed, but really the original one was just a single serpent entwined around a staff, not two serpents. There is a story about the two serpent one as well, but that's the wand of Hermes. But not to get on a tangent, the staff of Asclepius was a stick with a serpent on it. So one of the things I was thinking of recently, well, we have a symbol, or there's a symbol that exists that is essentially a line with a serpent on it, and that's what we generally use as our symbol for the dollar sign. There is a version of the dollar sign that's also used relatively interchangeably, and that's with two lines through an S. But, it's also like on a keyboard, a general standardized keyboard. When you type it, it's got the single line with the S. And to me, that seems like a much more appropriate symbol for Ophiuchus, except for the fact that it's developed this egregore that connects it with money, It's kind of interesting, though, is that in a lot of places, people charge a lot of money for medicine and medical care. So that is kind of interesting how that turns out, that connection there. But yeah, I was thinking that what we use now as the dollar sign is actually, it seems to me, just from examining the symbolism of it and meditating on the actual imagery, it seems like a much more appropriate symbol for Ophiuchus, because it's essentially looks like a stylized staff of Asclepius. So that's a little something to kind of ponder, think about, something I wanted to share with you, a little insight that I had. I did a search and I couldn't really find very much information about people making this connection before, but I did find one interesting on some conspiracy theory page. They didn't even actually talk about it, but if it came up in the search, they were going on and on about something else related to it, but they never actually got to the point in that forum thread. But they were saying, is the dollar sign the symbol of our serpent god? And like the reptilian, elite. And I thought that was kind of a funny connection, that's somebody did make that connection, but it was some kind of one of these conspiracy theorists who kind of apparently believes in the whole reptilian shape-shifting elite royal bloodline kind of kind of thing. And that is to be honest, I think it's a very fun theory, you know, fun, the whole reptilian shapeshifting thing. To me, I kind of utilize it in my own sense through saying that, well, really we are all reptilians in a sense, because we have that reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, which is essentially the brainstem, which is part of ourselves that we kind of retreat into when we go into the fight or flight mode. And it can be programmed through ritual. That's where we get our obsession with ceremony and ritual. So you can kind of program your reptile brain through ceremony. I'm just kind of freeballing here on the whole ideas of this, but there's some really neat connections there that I wanted you to be aware of. And I think that it's kind of neat to talk about this 13th zodiac sign. I find it very fascinating. Anyways, I wanted to tell you about something really exciting that I've been working on. Is that I'm planning another Flambeau Noir. This is the new name that I'm using for the Left Hand Path conferences that I'm involved with. So initially, the very first one that I did, I produced and hosted the first International Left Hand Path convention, is what the word I used back then, back in 2012. In Toronto, Ontario, which was pretty awesome. One of the best parts of it was the art show that lasted a couple weeks and was part of the event. The weekend itself, we had part of the events in the gallery, which was cool. And then there was the next one was 2014 in Indianapolis, Indiana, which Lori Pneumatikos produced. And I co-hosted and presented at and helped her promote, and I was involved with that one, and we called that one the Second International Left Hand Path Conference, and then Lori ended up doing her own independent one last year, 2016, in Atlanta, Georgia, and I didn't have anything to do with that, but I heard that it was really enjoyable and that it went well, and there was some really great talks. And she called that one the International Left Hand Path Consortium. So it's the same initials again, but that's her independent thing. The consortium is Lori Pneumatikos' independent events that she's doing with her partners that she decides to work with. And so I decided with the one that we did this year in Ottawa that I was involved with Helene Arts and Justin Dickey. Those were my two co-hosts, and we called it Flambeau Noir, which means black torch. And it's a reference, of course, to the black flame and the whole idea of passing the torch and all these associated concepts. And I did that partly to distinguish my independent thing from Lori's independent thing. Lori has actually announced that she's partnered with some people in St. Louis, Missouri for a consortium event that she's going to co-host in St. Louis in July of 2018. Now, I've actually partnered with Season Cole. She also goes by the artist name Zen Cole. And her and I have been working on organizing a Flambeau Noir, a Left Hand Path conference in Portland, Oregon for 2018 as well. So next year there's actually gonna be two independent Left Hand Path conferences. So this is really growing. It's really picking up a lot of steam, and I think it's really amazing that we have all this going on. I'm really excited about this. We've already picked a date, And I think, I don't think that it's going to change at this point, because we've really, examined this, and so this is the formal announcement here. We're going to be holding the event in Portland, Oregon on the weekend of April 27th to the 29th. The 29th is actually a full moon in Scorpio. So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty crazy, intense energy there. Symbolically, at least. I do actually, I know I did a video on that I don't believe in astrology, but I do feel that the moon itself specifically does have a strong impact on us. I just don't feel that the configuration of the planets against the backdrop of the stars really has that much impact on us individually. Although, I still do feel like we can use it symbolically to kind of give our brain that little extra boost, that little tweak that can kind of give a boost to our things. I talked about this in one of the videos on beginning Luciferian magic. These little symbolic little things that we can do to boost the meaning behind these things, I do still believe in that. The weekend of the 27th to the 29th, Portland, Oregon, Flambeau Noir 2018. So that's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to that. Season is a really cool person. We connected at the Ottawa event, the Ottawa Flambeau Noir that just happened not long ago, 2017. We're still in the very early stages of it. We have almost a full year to plan it. But I thought, I'd let you guys in on that we're going to be doing that next year in Portland, Oregon. So it's very exciting. Of course, as more developments come, we're gonna tell you about it. We've got a vision for what kinds of things we want to happen there, live music, a stronger art component to it. A lot of these events that have happened, a lot of these conferences, they haven't really had an art show. It's been more of a, artists have had like a vending table where they can present and sell their artwork, but it's, to be fair, I wouldn't really call that an art show. The 2012 one in Toronto, that had a proper art show. I'm not sure if we're gonna go to that extent or not. We're gonna see if we can manage that. But that was like a 2-week event, and the art installation that was in an actual gallery that people could come in and check out during the whole 2 weeks that it was that art installation was there. Not sure if we're going to go to that extent, as I said, but we're definitely going to have a stronger art component than just we're gonna see what we can do. We want more than just a vending table with artists at it. And then of course the live music component, and we've got some ideas. We got some cool ideas. I've done this a bunch of times now, and I've learned something each time. So every time we're trying to do something, learn something from the previous events and try and improve on it. And so it's very exciting. I'm not going to reveal any more, but we definitely have some other ideas there that up our sleeve, and we will be telling you about it as we go. So yeah, it's very exciting. I feel really pumped about it, even though it's almost a full year away, and wanted to share that with you. So yeah, so Ophiuchus, the $, is that a cool symbol for Ophiuchus, or is it ruined because it's being used for so long for money? Do we use the U with the sideways S for Ophiuchus because that's kind of what's been established, or what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts on that. Also, if you're excited about the Flambeau Noir that's going to be happening in Portland, Oregon next year, I hope you tell tell me about how excited you are about that. Share the excitement with me on that. And yeah, if you like these videos, I put them out. I've been putting them out every Wednesday to my Patreon subscribers that have subscribed to the $5 or more. You could go to patreon.com/JeremyCrow and subscribe to me there. That's essentially your way of thanking me for the work that I'm doing here, and helping support what I'm doing so that I can do it more. And also you get a few little different perks depending on the level of pledge that your monthly pledge that you've decided to contribute to the Patreon subscription. If you do $5 or more, you get to see my videos on Wednesday when I put them out. If not, it's fine. You still get to see the videos, but you just have to wait till Friday to see the video. But there are other perks there that you might want to check out, and or just because you might want to support what I'm doing financially because you appreciate it. Also, another thing you can do if you really like these videos is just subscribe to my channel or follow my channel on YouTube or VidMe, and that way you'll get the notifications when a new video is uploaded, and you'll get to see it right away. And you can share the videos if you want to support, but you don't necessarily have money that you wanted to contribute to it. I really appreciate that as well. Feel free to share any of the videos that I have. I know sometimes people will say, do you mind if I share that video? Of course, I'm doing these videos because I want to share this knowledge with people. I want to share my insights and opinions and musings, and hopefully, start some conversation and get some conversation going. Maybe spark some ideas in other people that they can, mirror back, and maybe spark something in me. Definitely feel free to share anything that I put out there publicly, unless I've specifically asked you not to share something, which I do sometimes. I do have the exclusive things that I'm working on that I'll sometimes share with individuals for their feedback as it's in the development stages. But if it's out there in the public, absolutely feel free to share it. And yeah, we'll see you next week.